The Wonderful Killer, Scared Face. Every crime has a story, and every killer has a motive. From chilling confessions to unsolved mysteries, true crime reveals the darkest corners of human nature. What drives someone to kill? Let's uncover the truth behind the most shocking cases. Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield, true crime documentary introduction. In the quiet town of Plainfield, Wisconsin, a horror unlike any other was lurking in the shadows. A man who seemed like nothing more than an odd but harmless recluse would soon become the inspiration for some of the most terrifying characters in horror history: Norman Bates, Leatherface, and Buffalo Bill. His name was Ed Gein, and his crimes would send shockwaves across the world. This is the true story of the Butcher of Plainfield. Early life. The making of a killer. Edward Theodore Gein was born on August 27, 1906, in La Crosse County, Wisconsin. His father, George Gein, was an alcoholic, while his mother, Augusta, was a religious fanatic who preached about the evils of women and sin. She dominated Ed and his older brother, Henry, forcing strict religious teachings upon them. When the family moved to an isolated farmhouse in Plainfield, Augusta ensured that Ed remained cut off from the world. His only escape was books, particularly medical journals and adventure stories, which fueled his already active imagination. But beneath the quiet exterior, something dark was brewing. First, death. The mystery of Henry Gein. By the early 1940s, Ed's father had died, leaving him and Henry alone with Augusta. As Henry grew older, he began to resist their mother's influence and criticized her religious obsession. But in 1944, tragedy struck. During a controlled fire on their property, Henry was found dead under mysterious circumstances. Officials claimed it was due to smoke inhalation, but later reports suggested bruises on his head, leading to speculation that Ed may have had a hand in his brother's death. Now, only Ed and Augusta remained. The death of Augusta and the breaking point. Augusta suffered a series of strokes and passed away in 1945. To Ed, her death was the ultimate devastation. He sealed off most of the house, preserving her room like a shrine. But with no one left to control him, his obsession with death and the human body grew stronger. Ed spent his days digging up graves, collecting body parts, and experimenting with human skin and bones. And soon, grave robbing wasn't enough. Murders and discovery. On November 16, 1957, Plainfield's hardware store owner, Bernice Warden, mysteriously vanished. Blood was found at the scene, and the last sales receipt pointed to Ed Gein. When police arrived at his farmhouse, what they found shocked even the most seasoned investigators. Bernice Warden's decapitated body was hanging upside down in a shed, gutted like a deer. A collection of human skulls, some turned into bowls. Masks made of human skin, crafted from the faces of the dead. A suit made of stitched together human flesh, suggesting Ed was trying to become a woman, possibly his mother. Ed later admitted to killing Bernice Warden and Mary Hogan, a tavern owner who had disappeared in 1954. The trial and legacy of Horror Gein was declared legally insane and sent to a mental institution, where he remained until his death in 1984. Though he was only convicted of 2 murders, his depraved actions forever changed pop culture. His grotesque crimes inspired Psycho Norman Bates, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface, and The Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill. Even decades later, his story continues to haunt us. Conclusion: what drove Ed Gein to commit such unimaginable acts? Was it his mother's control, his isolation, or something far more sinister? One thing is certain: behind the quiet town of Plainfield, a monster was hiding in plain sight. This was the chilling true story of Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield. If you found this documentary intriguing, Don't forget to like, give your decision into the comment box, subscribe, and hit the notification